Have you ever gone camping? If you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. If you're looking for more of a nice, quiet, secluded type of campground, as opposed to a bigger, busier, touristy type of campground, I highly recommend that you visit one of my favorite places, which is Bass Lake in Gwinn, Michigan. Bass Lake is located in Gwinn, Michigan, which I just said, but Gwinn, Michigan is about 30 minutes west of Marquette, Michigan, which, if you're not familiar with the area or just cities in Michigan in general, Marquette is one of the biggest cities in all of the Upper Peninsula. So even though Gwinn is just about 30 minutes west of Marquette, it is still a very nice, very quiet, very secluded little town. Since Bass Lake is located in Gwinn, which is already a very small town, it makes sense that it is a very small campground, and which makes it perfect for little families going on their family vacations. When you decide to visit, you have to make sure that you go berry picking on the trails, swim in the refreshing water, and you have to make sure that you go stargazing. First, let's start off with berry picking. The whole Upper Peninsula is covered in berries, and I mean covered. When my family and I like to take our annual vacations up to the Upper Peninsula, we like to take 5-gallon buckets and fill them up with berries, and then store them in our freezer. So it's the beginning of October, not August. It's the beginning of October, and we still have some blueberries left from our trip in July. We love going blueberry picking, but we also love going raspberry picking, which are harder to find but so much more worth it. And the bees really tend to love raspberries, which makes it even more worth it when we come out with a lot of them. Next, let's talk about swimming. Bass Lake is a DNR-fed trout lake, which makes it a great spot for fishermen, especially since it is a lake that doesn't have very many motor boats or jet skis on it. So it makes it a great spot because it's quiet for all the fish, but I like it along with many other people because it's a great spot to go swimming and to go just floating around. The water is very clear, so it is really nice and refreshing just to be able to go in there for a couple minutes. Finally, let's talk about stargazing. Stargazing at Bass Lake is incredible because even though it is only about 30 minutes west of Marquette, as I mentioned before, it is just simply the air is so much clearer than anywhere I've ever been. It's crazy to see how different it is, even just from around here in Saginaw to up in the UP where there's no one around, how much clearer the air can be. So on nights that aren't very cloudy, it was amazing to see how many stars we could see. I remember a couple of years ago, my cousins and I tried to count the stars. I was 9. We got lost after 90. But that was actually the spot that I saw my first ever shooting star. But so now that I've talked about some of the amazing things that you can do when you visit Bass Lake, if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend that you go.